Everyone is familiar with the Ender-3, the Creality Ender-3. But do you know all about the Ender-3 series? It's kind of messed up, isn't it? There's so many models and it's just crazy. There's like a million of them. So to help you, I did a lot of research, and so I tried to make a comprehensive overview of the Ender-3 family, all the Ender-3 models, and also some other printers that is basically the same as the Ender-3. And so let's start. Let's start with the standard Ender-3. We all know that it is running Merlin, and it has its famous V-slot wheels. And the wheels, a lot of the new machines are still actually using it. Then from the Ender-3, Creality made the Ender-3 Pro. And by the way, this video shouldn't be very specific. Its whole purpose is just to cover the Ender-3 series family and give you a comprehensive overview of what things are like. If there's anything missing, please put it down in the comments and you could help a lot more people with that. So the Ender-3 Pro, it have some upgrades. For example, now it's using a bed. It's having a magnetic, flexible, removable bed, unlike the original Ender-3, which is only using a sticker that is hard to remove. And also we could see that it is using a bigger extrusion on the y-axis. The standard Ender-3 uses a 40-20 aluminum extrusion profile, while the new Ender-3 Pro, it is 40-40. It's 2 times bigger. This ensures that the x-axis is better, and yeah. So next, if using Ender-3 to Ender-3 Pro, it's just the upgrades are too minor. But how about the Ender-3 Pro to Ender-3S? There's no difference, honestly. Those are the 2 pictures I found on Creality.com, and you could view how those photos are different. The only thing that is different, for which I can tell, is the background. The Ender-3S got a grayer background than Ender-3 Pro, but they were essentially the same machine, and yeah, they were just the same. They are the same. It's a fact. And then they have the Ender-3 Max. We all know that the Ender-3, Ender-3 Pro, and Ender-3S, they features a 220 by 220 millimeter bed, while the Ender-3 Max, it is an upgrade to 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter bed. And by the way, those icons may look fairly abstract, and the photos and the icons are all from Creality websites, for example Creality.com and Creality Cloud. So you could reference their website for those icons, and I'm just using the exact same thing. So the Ender-3 Max features a few upgrades other than the size. So specifically, they got a glass bed, which is just become standard in the Neo series later. And then they have 2 cooling fans rather than the single cooling fan on the standard Ender-3. As you can see on the picture of that tool head, it's looking different, and it's looking like the CR6 SE, honestly. And then back to the family tree, we now got 4 models. We have a lot more to go. So this is where things get complicated and confusing. Those 5 printers, Ender-3, Ender-3 Pro, Ender-3S, and Ender-3 Max, along with the Ender-3 V2, I'll call them the Generation 1 machines. Well, even though the Ender-3 V2 sounds like it's a 2nd generation machine, but just to make things clear, I like to classify them together with the other Ender-3s because all 5 of those machines don't have a automatic leveling probe, and They basically are the same. They have very similar hardwares. And so let's talk about Ender-3 V2. So basically, just an Ender-3, but with a more advanced screen. It looks like that. It's a little bit different with a brand new UI interface. It's colored, but still with a knob. And you can see that on the printer, there's a few more accessories like the blue buttons for belt tensioning. And there's a giant wheel on the extruder. And by the way, the fan shroud is also redesigned, but it's essentially the same thing, just a better looking version. It's still the same hardware. You can see that it is very similar to the Ender-3 Pro or the Ender-3S. Well, back to the family tree. This is all for generation 1, right? No, I have something else for you. So the Ender-2, technically that doesn't belong to the Ender-3 family tree, but I'll say that it's very similar to the other Ender-3 models, so I need to include that. And all information about Ender-3 is right now deleted from Creality.com and CrealityCloud.com, so I'm not able to find it. And the image is from all3dp.com. You could go visit their website and search up Ender-2. You'll get information about it. So you can see that the Ender-2 is basically just a Ender-3. It's half Ender-3 without a part cooling fan on, and it's a lot more compact with a spool holder on top. And if I'm not mistaken, this printer used to be shipped as kits, and it's a little bit different than the other ones. It's more like just a spare part of the industry that Creality made up and just want to sell them. I'm not sure, honestly. The industry is around before I began to 3D print stuff, so I'm not familiar with it. And by the way, I think I already said it, but if you see any factual problems, please write it down in the comments and let everyone see it. There's just so many models, and I couldn't guarantee that I included everything and everything is correct. So next, this is basically all about the generation 1 machines. And for generation 2, it is where things again get complicated. So first, there's this Neo series, which is basically targeting, basically those are more affordable and cheaper machines. And let's start with the Ender-3 V2 Neo. I'll say that's very close to the Ender-3 V2, while the Ender-3 Neo is close to Ender-3 Pro, while the Ender-3 Max Neo is very close to Ender-3 Max. Here the naming is like very understandable. It's not messed up, and it sounds like it's alright. So all the Neo series printers, they have the standard tool head with a CR touch attached on the side. It's kind of weird for them to have this Y shape, this red thing. I don't really understand why they want to have that. Maybe you think it's cool. But this series is still the Bolden setup like the original Ender-3. There's not much thing different. So first, the Ender-3 V2 Neo. As I've said, there's this similarity with Ender-3 V2, so that it has a colored screen with a knob. And then because all this Neo series, all machines from this Neo series, they have this CR touch. It also features auto leveling functions, and it's using a PC bed. With Ender-3 Max Neo, it's very similar to the logic of upgrading Ender-3 Pro to Ender-3 Max. It is basically an enlarged version of the Neo machines, and it's using a glass bed, similar with Ender-3 Max. And this is the first time that you could see a machine having, I mean, not the first time, but the first time in this demonstration that it features a filament runout sensor. Well, one more thing I want to say is that the Ender-3 Max Neo have 2 lead screws for the Z-axis, but there is only one motor. So in the future, in the preceding content, I'm going to mention those Z for all of those, because it could get complicated by having all kinds of stuff. There are new machines with 2 motors, 2 Z motors, but there's also new machines with 1 Z motor but a synchronized belt on the top, like the Ender-3 Max Neo. And then there is the Ender-3 Neo. It got basically nothing, but it's so cheap. It has a glass bed and also the automatic leveling probe CR Touch. The CR Touch is basically the same as the BL Touch. It's just a cloudy rebrand. It's very similar. And so this is the Neo series, NEO. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, but there's also another series. Another printer, sorry, which is the Ender-2 Pro. Still, this is not the Ender-3, but I would like to include it because it's so similar to Ender-3 Neo. You can look at the tool head and find out that they look basically the same. It's the same fan shroud, but it's missing a CR touch. Also, the the y-axis looks like to have a 2020 aluminum extrusion profile. It's a lot smaller than other machines, but still, it's probably better for those smaller machines because they were designed to be very compact. And next, we're going to the S1 series. So yeah, in my opinion, the Generation 2 machines have this Neo series targeting lower priced markets, while the Ender-3 S1 series is more premium. But I have no idea of what S1 means. Super 1? I don't know, but it's just for better. And there's the S1, S1 Pro, and S1 Plus. So let's start with the S1. So they have a bright extruder on the machine. Also have CR touch. All the things the Neo series have, they have. It has a filament runout sensor. It has a colored screen. It has a PC bed, and it has dual Z with 2 Z motors. And there's this upgrade, S1 Pro. It have the same build size. They were all standard Ender-3 sizes, and it has still the bright extruder. Yeah, by the way, S1 series is the first time that Ender-3 series have a direct drive extruder. The printer they have before are all Bolden setup. They have the extruder on the fixed on the X gantry, while this time it's fixed on the tool head. This is a lot better in terms of print quality, and you could technically hit better print speed with that. And also the S1 Pro is an upgrade on the S1. It has a touchscreen. It doesn't have that knob anymore. And it has a PI sheet. And the bed supports 110 degrees Celsius, which is 10 degrees Celsius hotter than the standard one on S1. Well, also the tool head is upgraded to support 300 degrees Celsius, but the S1 only supports 260. Also has dual Z axis. But how about the S1 Plus? It's basically the same as the Ender-3 S1 but larger. And the difference is that it has a 30 by 30 centimeter bed. Those belong to the Creality large printer series. They were just like large Ender-3s, 300 by 300 millimeters. Unlike the standard one, they were 220 by 220. And so we're done with the Generation 2 machines. And in my opinion, this is the most complicated part. And if you still feel alright and don't feel messed up, then you'll probably understand the rest of the stuff. And there is the Generation 3 machines. Let's start with the Ender-3 V3 SE and the Ender-3 V3 KE. This is so hard to pronounce. The names you can see are becoming longer as time proceeds. Like Ender-3 and Ender-3 V3 KE are just becoming a lot longer. And let's start with the Ender-3 SE. SE, if I'm not mistaken, is for Standard Edition. It's essentially an upgraded Ender-3. I got a knobbed screen. I got a sprite extruder, direct extruder. I got a PC bed. I got 2 lead screws, and I got the CR touch. It's basically like all the improvements you need for the Ender-3, and it's quite capable, as some YouTuber says, and it's probably one of the best budget 3D printers on the market. And then there's the KE. KE is probably for Clipper Edition. So I got a touchscreen. It's more expensive than the SE. I still got the same extruder. I got a PEI sheet. I got 2Z. I got those Z. Sorry, I don't really remember. It's 2 motors or 2 linear, two rods. I'm very sorry for that. I'm supposed to know that. And it features a linear rail on the x-axis, which enable it faster moving speed, acceleration, and jerk. And it has a CR touch, while it's also having clipper and filament runout sensor. So it's essentially a clipperized edition of the SE with linear rails and a filament runout sensor attached. So those are the cheap machines in the Generation 3 family. Well, there are more expensive ones. For example, the Ender-3 V3 and the Ender-3 V3 Plus. So first, the V3. It is just a very interesting machine. It's a lot different from the old Ender-3s. For example, you can see that it's looking a lot cleaner. It has a touchscreen, it's running Clipper, and most interestingly, it got a Core XZ motion system. This is very similar to the Voron Switchwire, which you could search it up and adopt the same motion system. And it got everything that the SE and KE gets, and it's advertised as having 2 cooling fans, which honestly I think SE and KE also have, but maybe it's just not advertised this way. And then there's the Ender-3 V3 Plus. It's basically just a scaled up version of the Ender-3 V3, and Plus, it's the same with Ender-3 S1 Plus. It means larger size. So the Ender-3 V3 Plus, not unsurprisingly, have a bed dimension of 30 by 30 centimeter in size. But this picture, even though it's from their official website, is kind of misleading. The Ender-3 V3 Plus doesn't support multicolor function for now. Maybe it will in the future. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, one thing that the Ender-3 V3 Plus is different from the Ender-3 V3 is that it has 2 Y motors, while the Ender-3 V3 only have 1. So it's more powerful. Probably they have this because the bed is larger and more heavy, so it's for compensating. Well, also the structure, it's reinforced. It has some rods on the back, those square aluminum supporting things on the back, just to make the frame more rigid and so that the printer will be more reliable. But there's one thing I really want to say is that look at the Ender-3 and look at the Ender-3 V3 Plus. How much resemblance you could see between those 2 printers? Like, if there's someone who is new to 3D printing, they will probably not be able to tell that those are both Ender-3s. like there's one suggestion that I really want to give to Creality, which is that if you guys could make those printers look a little bit more similar, that will probably be better in terms of branding, and probably more people will buy it. And you could see that on the Ender-3, original Ender-3, it's advertised as Ender, but on the new V3 Plus, it's advertised as Creality. The words are even different, and you don't have the dragon logo anymore. So it just looks like a different machine. But still, if you compare it across 3 different generations, the first generation Ender-3 V3, the second generation Ender-3 V2 Neo, sorry. Yeah, this first one is Ender-3, and then Ender-3 V2 Neo, and then Ender-3 V3 Plus. You can see that even though I research a lot, I'm still getting messed up with those names. It's just so horrible. There's just like 1,000 names there. So the first to second generation and the second to third generation, there's still not much similarity. They look very different. And like on the second generation, there's no Ender logo of any sort. There's not even the Creality logo. You could say that this is a transition, but it's so weird for such a printer that you could easily brand it into the Ender, not the Creality machines. They were just messed up with it. Why don't they just advertise everything as Ender? It would be a lot better, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but still, let's continue with the family tree. So there's one more printer I want to mention, the CR10SE. So it's basically an Ender-3 S1 Pro upgrade. You could see that everything looks the same. The extruder, there's a new shroud, but look at the top. Looks similar, right? Look at the joints on the X gantry, it looks similar. And then look at the base, it's similar. Even the screw mounting holes, they look the same. And then look at the wire tensioning knobs, they look the same. They both have filament runout sensor, and they both have a touchscreen. Everything looks so same. They were basically they're just so same. And on the CR10SE, it's still a little bit different. The difference is that it's running Clipper and it's having linear rails on the X and Y axis. So it's going faster than the S1 Pro. But still, I think there's a lot of people modding Ender-3 S1 Pros. The Creality CR10SE is basically more expensive, and yeah, well, it's actually up to the consumers. I'm not going to talk about this, but it is interesting for how Creality made this Ender-3 S1 Pro into the CR series. The CR series is traditionally advertised by Creality as the industrial and more professional machines. They were supposed to be more capable and better. So maybe Creality have different ideas about it. I don't know, but it is quite interesting to see them having it combined, merged into the CR series. So then this is the complete Ender-3 family tree I could get. There's a lot of machines, there's a lot of names, a lot of different stuff like Pro, Neo, Max, V2, S, V3, SE, Plus, Pro, S1. They were all just different. It's really confusing for me. And well, I draw some lines and you can see how I categorize those printers. The blue line you could see labeled as Clipper. So on the right of this blue line, it's all printers running Clipper, which is basically a more capable firmware than the original Ender-3 have used, which is Merlin. And then on the right of that green line, the printers are all using the Sprite extruder, which is a direct drive setup. Well, on the left, it's all Bowden setups. And you can see that purple line. On the right of that purple line, it's all dual Z printers. Well, on the left, it's all single Z setup. And there's this black line. On the bottom, in the bottom of this black line is cantilever printers, while on the top is all bed slingers. Well, probably cantilever could also be categorized as bed slingers, but I mean that on Ender-2 and Ender-2 Pro, they were having only one beam sticking out as the Z-axis, so they were like half Ender-3s. Well, so people complain about how over the years there are just more and more Ender-3 models. But if you really look at that, you will see that Creality seems like to be understanding what the users are complaining. So in the first generation, there are 5 machines and 1 more subsidiaries. On the second generation, there's the same. There's also this Ender-2 Pro, but there's 6 machines. I think this is when most consumers get annoyed with the Ender namings. And so Creality probably took consideration about that, and in the third generation, they have 4 machines, 4 Ender-3s only. That's a giant reduction over the second generation. And they have 1 subsidiary machine, the CR10SE. They've given up the Ender-2 Pro and put the Ender-3 S1 series in a brand new category. So you could see that they're actually trying their best to reduce the amount of namings for the Ender-3 printers. So next time if anyone complains about it, tell them that Creality is actually cutting SKUs. They were not having more models. They were having less. Well, so back to the family tree. It looks kind of amazing for how messed up Creality have made their product line into. Well, still, in this whole family tree video, I'm not meant to harm Creality of any sort. I just want to help you to understand what the Ender-3 family is like. And if there's any factual problems, please, I couldn't take care of every single fact in the Ender-3 family just too hard. I'm trying my best already. There's just too many models. And please, if there's any problems with facts, please put it down in the comments and let everyone see this. All this video is intended to help you to have a clearer understanding of the Ender series. So if you have any more questions, please put it down in the comments. I'll try to answer them as I can. And yeah, so I'll probably need to update this video in the future if they have upgraded their machine to generation 4. I actually have no idea, but hope they will have less machines in the future. Yeah, and I hope you understand it all. So thank you very much for watching this long video. And yeah, I have put a lot of effort into this. I researched a lot, and even though that this is very sketchy, but I put a lot of effort into this. It's a lot of data, and there's a lot of things to take note of. So please, if you are kind enough, please give me a like, and also you could consider subscribing. I'll probably try to make more videos like this in the future. My main goal is just to benefit the community, especially because Creality machines are open source in the start, and I really admire the effort on it. So one thing to Creality, if you could open source your Ender-3 V3s, that will be even better. So thank you for watching, and hope you have a great day. Bye.